Good morning, everybody. I am going to talk few things on the International Drug Abuse and Illicit Traffic Day, which has been fixed by the United Nations Assembly way back in 7th December 1987. They made every 26th June of every year to mark the day, to make the people aware and also to make the people understand what are the ill effects of this drug abuse, and also to make the people understand how to stop the illicit trafficking of drugs. If you understand, the drug abuse starts right from a smaller thing. Especially, we start using the painkillers, we start using the tranquilizers, we start using the sleeping pills which are available across the counter to tide over that day and go for the work next day. So the abuse starts there. You are taking a drug which is not prescribed by a competent authority. You are using more drugs than the dose advised to you, or it will be advised to you. So the drug abuse starts there. Then it goes to the level of taking some of the drugs which makes you dependent, like marijuana, the cocaine, the fentanyl derivatives which has become a synthetic this thing, and also other drugs which gives you a pure pleasure. How you are getting, the world consensus says, the theme of the United Nations organization for 2020 is better knowledge gives a better care. What do you mean by better knowledge? By meaning you understand that we are going to give the ill effects of the drugs, how prophylaxis yourself against the drugs, and what is going to be if you are going to follow the things what we say, in what way it is going to be of help to you, and how it can prevent the drug trafficking in future days. The world study says there is a bimodal presentation of drug addiction. Either they come in the teenage, or in Western countries where the people are not being looked after the old age. Again, it starts at the age of 50 and 60. In between, the people get very rarely affected for the first time. The people who started their habit in the age of teens go ahead permanently until in the way they go for the addiction program and all. Otherwise, it again occurs as a first time in the old age when the people are thrown out without being taken care or not much of support. So I would like to start from the teenage. Teenage, majority of the people will be going to the college from a school where there is a lot of liberation in the mind. Teenage is a one where there is a lot of hormonal secretion in both sex, which makes you feel that you can do anything in life. And you also got a temptation to see what is going to happen if I take certain things. So it starts from a very basic thing of a cigarette. Then it goes to the alcohol. Somebody may not like the taste of it and they stop it and they go away from this. Some of them get caught with the taste and the fancy of it. After some time of taking the alcohol, they don't get the enough pleasure what they were used to get it in the initial stages. So they go in for more and more alcohol intake, or they are trying to find out other ways. If the alcohol intake, after the intake, when the effect gives some bad experience for the individual, he tried to find out some other drug. There are plenty of things available in the market in the form of marijuana, the fentanyl derivatives, and the mood elevators like methamphetamine. Everything is there. So if they get a hang of it, they could not come back. So what you should do, as you become a teen, try to have good friends around you. Speak it out, whatever is your problem, because you are likely to have more of mood swings because of the pressure of education, because of the pressure of surroundings and the environmental factors. you're likely to have a little psychological stress. To have good friends, speak it out. Whatever it is, don't hesitate. Which you cannot speak to others, you can speak with your friends. Even with private things, some of the things you would like to avoid to talking to others, you can talk among your friends. Then don't be an introvert while you're a teen. An introvert is a very, very dangerous thing for an individual. These are the people who get into the habit of depression, anxiety, which they are not able to reveal. And when they get a time being pleasure of these drugs, they go behind it. So the advice would be for the younger generation, be more cheerful, be open, be with your good friends, never get into the habit of a bad friend. Talk it yourself and never become an introvert. There is a responsibility of the teachers who handle the students also. The teacher should have a constant vigil on the individual, both inside the campus and outside the campus. The behavior of the outside campus, if there is little abnormality, will be shown when he comes to the colleges and behave. It is the bounded responsibility of the teachers to have a close follow-up in a friendlier way so that you don't allow your students to go into these bad habits. There is a role for the parentage also. Don't pressurize things on the individuals in the teenage. They don't like it. Don't compare others with your son or daughter. They don't like it. Don't pressurize to do what you want. Every individual has got a liking towards a thing. Until there is a liking towards a thing is bad if you think. Try to become a friend to your son or a daughter. Be a friendlier way. You tell this is not good for you, this is good for you, this is not good for you. That will carry a long way. The child will not have any hesitation to discuss certain things, which they otherwise be hesitant to discuss with you because of the fear that you're a parent. Take away the fear from the children. Be a friendlier parent and also have a good vigil on your children. If you put your children on the hostel, regularly have communication with the warden and the principal. See, is there any change in behavior of my child? The same way, when the child is with you, the child suddenly becomes unsocial. The child is going away from you and in a corner thinking about something or trying to hide something. Don't bounce on the child. Become friendlier and find out what exactly the child is undergoing. Many of the time you will be able to solve a major problem in the future. Such children, if you are not looking at, if you don't spend time on your child, if you don't spend time on your students, these are the students trying to find pleasure in other way. If they've got a knack of getting into some of these habits, if there is a free availability of these drugs, they get into that bad habit and they take it. Once they get into the drug habit, he becomes useless to himself, he becomes useless to the family, he becomes rather a cancer-like disease to the whole society at large. And finally, he kills himself or he becomes a useless fellow, goes to a mental asylum. Some of the children who have got this anxiety and depression, don't hesitate if it is going beyond your friendlier attitude to make them all right. Don't hesitate to take them to a psychiatrist. Going to a psychiatrist is no more a stigma. Because of this fast world, because of the availability of so many rotten things on the media, because a fresh mind at the teenage is likely to go behind pleasures, there is no fault of them. If they are not able to get the pleasure or the success, they go in for anxiety and depression. So, take the children to a psychiatrist. You may say, I will counsel the children. The counseling should be done entirely by a third person. The counseling should not be done by a friend or own relative. They'll say that you're advising. But when you take to the psychiatrist, they will reveal everything to the psychiatrist. The psychiatric counseling itself may bring down the anxiety and depression. Otherwise, everything is chemically mediated, as you know. They will put minimal drugs, watch the patient, watch the child, and they'll become all right. so that they will not go in reach of other drugs which will make them addict. So this is one of the things what you should do. There is a responsibility on the medical profession, both for the doctor who is being a patient as well as the doctor who is administering the drugs. As the doctor's community has got an easy access to see some of these drugs, it is better to avoid testing these drugs on yourself. Some of the people have got a knack, oh, what will happen to me, let me test. One injection is sufficient for you to go in for addiction. So don't try to test it on yourself. If you are giving an injection for pain relieving in the postoperative period or something, if the doctor patient is asking, what is the drug you have given me? It has given me a lot of pleasure. Don't try to reveal the name of the drug. And as a doctor, if you are administering, try to avoid these drugs which can cause dependency over a period of time. This is the responsibility of the doctor towards doctor's own community. This is the responsibility of the doctor who is taking drug that he should not do this. So these are some of the things that can make you away from all this. One of the important thing I would like to tell it in general is, majority of the people, more than about 30 lakhs of people are taking the cocaine in the form of injection. As you go more and more, as you take more and more drug, the requirement of the drug becomes more. The urgency to inject yourself so that you don't get out of the pleasure, you use syringes and needles which are infected, and majority of the people have been infected by hepatitis C virus, and about 8% of them has got HIV infection. So this is a dreaded complication. An HCV over a period of time can cause cirrhosis and can lead to malignancy, whereas an HIV is always a sword hanging on your head that will kill you. So be careful that you don't get into the drug. Then what is the other thing that we should think? That trafficking will come automatically down if there is no consumer. When there is a consumer only, the drug requirement becomes more. They mobilize the drug in an illicit way, so illicit trafficking becoming more. A best example is the corona season now. There is lot of production, but there is no consumer. The products are getting wasted at that site. There are lot of manufacturing being done, but since the consumer is not taking it, it is going waste. But this is a painful thing to understand, because normal things are not being consumed. But the same theory applies to this drug also. If there is no consumer, imagine I don't want to consume. Like that, if everybody thinks in the world, the requirement of the drug will become almost zero, the illicit traffic will automatically come down. So let there not be any new consumers. Already the old consumers must get treated by de-addiction, also by the psychiatric consultations and other things. So this will make you completely free from drugs. You know the bad habits, you know the bad effects of the drug, you know how you can get out of it, you know what is the requirement. Before concluding, I would like to tell the experience what I've seen in my life. One is my own close relative, was Mr. Stanley, a medico, was one of the best ranker in Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission. He got selected. He was a bodybuilder of those days and became a Mr. Stanley. And then he got selected for radiation oncology, where he came to where he could access easily to all these drugs. At that time, unfortunately, he had a family problem in his married life. So he started using the drug. At one point of time, he could not return back. All his authenticity over the subject has come down. His performance status in the subject has come down. His social behavior with others has come down. He isolated himself. One day I could hear that he is no more. So this is a very pathetic situation to say how a doctor can easily get into all these things. So whenever you go out of your mind because of any problem, try to go to a psychiatrist and solve it, especially so the people who are very close to all these drugs like oncologist and anesthetist. The second instance is a boy who has come from a very remote village and joined MBBS 2 years after me. He was staying about 3 rooms away from me in the hostel. And this fellow, the moment he came to a city atmosphere, he got rebellious. He started doing everything right from the cigarette and alcohol. Unfortunately, he had a group of people who were in the hostel were positively bad in this, and they have taken him for a ride. And slowly he got addicted to all this. Those times marijuana was very famous. I'm talking in 1970s. And he got addicted. His performance in the execution has come down. He started failing. Every time his father used to come and cry that his son should become all right. One day, I could hear that he is dead and his body is lying down outside our campus. So this is another case where an addiction or entering into a drug can completely knock you down. It was a very pathetic situation for most of us and was a very painful experience. That is how that is why the people who are coming from remote villages, suburbs, should not get induced by all this. A little westernization that's going on in the city. You should have good friends who will advise you properly and who can take you in the correct path. So this is for the people who are coming from the villages to a city atmosphere or a college atmosphere where the things are entirely different, which they have not seen over a period of time. You should have a control on yourself and have good friends. Now, in this International Day for drug abuse and illicit drug traffic, I would like to say that we will adhere to the strict principles of life and we will be supportive to our own friends in a better way. As the teachers will be supportive to our students in a friendlier way. As the parents will be supporting to the children so that they don't go into these habits. As an elderly person, we should not throw out our own parents to a destitute home, or you don't spend much time to talk to them because of your preoccupations. If you avoid all this, I think we can go ahead for the future where it will be totally free of drug. I wish you all the success. Please follow it so that over a period of time, we will have a drug-free world. Thank you.